Hi, today is August 22nd, 2008. Welcome to BHS News.
On the morning of August 20th, school buses rolled back into the school. Students then ran inside for the welcoming back speech. Mr. McHenry informed students of the new cell phone policy and new staff members. Mr. Wilburn also gave a wholehearted welcome. Students then proceeded to their class meetings and began.
Those of you that have driven by the school have probably noticed the construction going on around the gym. This project involved replacing the roof, removing most windows to help heat and cool classrooms, and adding insulation and better lighting to make our building more energy efficient. Over the next several weeks, they will be finishing all the rooms in the gym. This project has an estimated cost of $120,000 and will be paid for using district funds.
As kids adjust back into the school routine, the baseball and softball teams are also gearing up for their first game. The softball teams under new head coach Brianne Cameron opened the season with the varsity-junior varsity doubleheader at Scotland County, while the baseball season begins on Friday with the home softball-baseball game against Lynn County. The baseball team is hoping to defend a conference co-champion title this fall. Junior high students have also been busy, as several 7th and 8th grade students are participating in co-op softball and football programs at Knox County.
Today is August 29, 2008. I'm Abigail Wheeler.
And I'm Stephanie Elsie, reporting for BHS News. Work continues on the renovation project. Here's Carmen with the story.
The renovation is coming along quickly. Since we reported to you last week, they have made progress. They are now applying the weatherproof layer and are now finishing up the roof. It's in hope that we will be finished in the next couple weeks. Back to you, Steph.
Thanks for the update, Carmen.
Monday night, the elementary back-to-school bash took place. We'll hand it over to Jay with the rest of the details.
Monday night, elementary students could be seen picnicking and playing games at the Back to School Bash, hosted by the NHS and Elementary Student Council. The well-attended event involved a carnival run by high school NHS students, as well as parent-teacher conferences where test scores were handed out. Students and parents also got to meet the teachers and tour the classrooms to help start off the new school year.
Thanks for that story, Jay.
The Tigers kicked off their softball season last Tuesday. Here's Trevor with the highlights.
The Brashear softball teams played their first game of the year Tuesday at Scotland County. The JV game was a 3-inning contest with hosts Scotland County getting the win 13-5. The varsity game was also a run fest with the two teams scoring a combined 31 runs. Brashear got on the board with 8 runs in the top of the first, then Scotland County answered with 3 runs in the first, 3 in the second, and 4 in the third. It was anyone's game after that, with the outcome finally being decided when Brashear's Tabitha Killen drove in a pair of runs with a bloop single on the top of the 7th to put Brashear up for a good 16-15. Macy Rogers got the win pitching in relief of Sierra Hines. Brashear is now 1-0 on the season and will host Lynn County Friday night in a conference baseball-softball doubleheader. In other words, the boys are still practicing. Their first game will be Friday at Lynn County.
I'm Stephanie Elsie.
And I'm Abigail Wheeler.
Thanks for watching BHS News.
Join us again next week.
Hi, today's September 5th, 2008. I'm Jordan Berry.
I'm Hunter Higgins. Welcome to BHS News. Brashear High School introduced 2 new teachers this year. Miss Delgado will be teaching lower level English and high school Spanish. Miss Wood has also joined the BHS staff and will be teaching lower level math.
National Education Specialist Sally Carter arrived Thursday morning. Throughout the day, Mr. Copeland's class took turns going inside the StarLab mobile planetarium. Inside, students saw the different constellations as they appear from various places around the world.
Last Friday night, the Tigers picked up a varsity softball, varsity baseball doubleheader sweep in Tri-County Conference action against Linn County. The Linn County Lady Mustangs took an early lead and were up 5-2 in the top of the 5th. In the bottom of the 5th, a series of walks and wild pitches allowed Brashear to go ahead 6-5. Linn County tied the game at 6-6 in the top of the 6th, but a series of walks and errors plus a hit put Brashear ahead 11-6 for the win. Sierra Hines and Macy Rogers teamed up on the mound for Brashear. The baseball game was all Brashear as the Tigers went up 2-0 in the first. Ryan Ferdig added solo home runs in the second and fourth innings and drove in another pair of runs in the fifth. Cody Snelling and Matt Thomas also had back-to-back homers in the third inning. Thomas also picked up his second and third RBIs in the fifth to end the game early by the mercy rule. Linn County's only offense came from a 2-run homer in the fourth as Brashear breezed to a 12-2 win. Michael McKim got the win, striking out 7 and scattered 3 hits in 5 innings.
The Brashear Lady Tigers headed to Atlanta Saturday morning for a little tournament action. In the first game, Brashear took an early 3-1 lead over host Atlanta, then blew the game open with an 11-run third inning. Atlanta answered with 4 runs in the fourth, but couldn't close the gap. Brashear won by a final score of 21-7. Emily Lodwig and Kristen Love teamed up on the mound for the win. In the second game of the day, Brashear and Novinger both started quietly, going 1-2-3 in the first. Novinger got the bats going in the second and took a 3-0 lead. They extended the lead with 2 more runs in the third to lead 5-0. Brashear's Macy Rogers led off the fourth with a solo home run, and then 3 singles and a walk allowed Brashear to cut the deficit to 5-2. Novinger answered with another run in the bottom of the fourth. Brashear put up 3 more runs in the fifth, then tied the game in the top of the seventh on an Abby McKim RBI double. In the bottom of the seventh, walks and a wild pitch ultimately allowed Novinger to score the winning run to take the game 7-6.
Today is September 12, 2008. I'm Carmen Woods.
And I'm Trevor Bunch. Welcome to BHS News.
Wednesday there was a Renaissance breakfast. Here's Stephanie with the report.
Wednesday morning, 54 students attended the Renaissance breakfast at the Keller Building. Several teachers pitched in to help cook biscuits, gravy, and eggs. The breakfast was to honor students who are achieving academic excellence. The requirements to be on Renaissance include good grades, lack of tardies, and no discipline referrals.
This week we had a fire drill, and here's Jay with the story.
This Wednesday, 270 students exited the building for the required annual fire drill. After filing out of the building, the students assembled by class so that roll could be taken to make sure everyone had made it out safely. Everything went smoothly and the drill was considered a success. A school district is required by law to hold at least 5 various drills during the year, including the fire drill and drills for intruders, earthquakes, tornadoes, and bus evacuations. The school holds 2 of each of these drills every year, so the next will occur in mid-October.
Here's Jordan with the sports update.
The Tigers picked up a pair of conference wins and a softball and baseball doubleheader at Novinger Wednesday. The Lady Tigers got off to a fast start facing the Novinger Wildcats. Brashear had several hits and produced 4 runs in the top of the first inning. Brashear held Novinger scoreless until third inning. Navajo got another run in fourth, and their final run came in sixth with a pair of singles and a pair of walks. Brashear led the whole way and picked up the win by a score of 6-4. Macy Rogers went the distance on the mound for Brashear, striking out 6. The Lady Tigers are now 4-1 and 2-0 in the Tri-County Conference. The Tiger baseball squad also got off to a quick start, scoring 2 runs in the top of the first. Navajo answered with a run in the bottom of the first and another in the second, but it trailed the whole way as Brashear scored in every inning of the 5-inning contest. Cody Snelling led the Tigers at the Finns with 2 home runs and 8 RBIs. The Tigers also had 3 players with home runs, getting one from Cody Hayden, Matt Thomas, and Ryan Ferdig. Michael McKim picked up the win, going 4 innings with Matt Thomas coming onto a pitch, a 1-2-3 inning in relief. The Tigers are now 2-0 in the Tri-County Conference.
Thanks for watching. Join us next week.
Hi, today is September 19, 2008. I'm Jay Scudder.
And I'm Jake Sweet. Welcome to BHS News. This week, the Herff Jones representative talked to the seniors and sophomores.
This Thursday, the Herff Jones salesman was here to show his line of rings to the sophomores and announcement to the seniors. He will be back at a later time to take orders.
Now that the field is dry and our team is back on the field, here's a look at this week's sports.
On Thursday, Canton visited Brashear. Neither Brashear or Canton could get any offense going in the first 2 innings. Canton's leadoff batter was hit by a pitch, but then was promptly erased, trying to steal second by Brashear catcher Abby McKim. Canton managed another hit in the first, but left her stranded. Brashear's Kristen Love sent Canton down in order 1-2-3 in the second. Canton's Tori Neiman struck out the first 5 Brashear hitters before Tabby Killen put the ball into play, grounding out to third. Canton got on the board in the third as 4 hits produced 3 runs. Canton added another 6 runs in the fifth. Canton started off with a single, but once again Brashear's McKim threw her out at second. Brashear missed chances to get out of the inning with several Canton batters outran throws in the first on infield hits. Brashear continued to struggle at the plate, but relief pitcher Macy Rogers managed to hold Canton scoreless the rest of the game despite loading the bases with no outs in the 6th. Neiman ended up with 12 Ks in the perfect game. Brashear falls to 4-2. Tuesday night, the Tigers swept a baseball-softball doubleheader over Atlanta in Tri-County Conference action. In the softball game, Brashear jumped out to an early lead, posting 5 runs in the first inning. The Tigers kept the bats hot, producing another 5 runs in the second, 4 runs in the third, and another insurance run in the fourth. Meanwhile, Kristen Love took the mound for Brashear and held Atlanta scoreless except for a single run in the fourth. It looked like the fourth could turn into a big inning for Atlanta as they loaded the bases with 1 out. Love then struck out the next batter and induced a ground ball to escape any further damage. Brashear won the 5-inning game by a score of 15-1. The Lady Tigers are now 5-2 and 3-0 in the Tri-County Conference.
The baseball game saw a lot of the Tiger long ball offense. Brashear took the lead after they trailed Atlanta 4-3 after the first inning. Atlanta pulled within 6-5 in the top of the fourth with the leadoff homer, but Brashear went up 14-6 in the bottom of the fourth. Atlanta made some noise for 3 runs in the fifth, but Cody Snelling came in with relief to complete a 15-10 Brashear win. Mike McKim got the start and the win for Brashear, going in 4 1/3 innings and striking out 8. Leading the Tigers' offense was Matt Thomas with 2 home runs, while Hayden Coyne chipped in with a grand slam and Cody Snelling hit his 4th homer of the season. Brashear is now 3-0.
Wednesday night, Brashear headed to La Plata for a softball and baseball matchup. In the softball game, Brashear jumped on the board with 3 runs in the top of the first inning, only to have La Plata match the tally in the bottom of the inning. Brashear managed to keep their offenses going with 2 in the second, 2 in the third, and 4 in the fourth. La Plata came up empty in the second and third innings before scoring in the fourth, fifth, and seventh inning. The late offense for La Plata came up short, and Brashear claimed the 12-7 victory. Macy Rogers went the distance on the mound, picking up the win for Brashear. The baseball game was a good pitching matchup for Curtis Bunch throwing for La Plata and Matt Thomas taking the mound for Brashear. The Tigers got on the board with a run in the first. Brashear held that lead until La Plata scored a run in the bottom of the second and another in the bottom of the third. The Bulldogs also tracked on an insurance run in the fifth and 2 more in the sixth before Brashear mounted a rally in the top of the seventh. Brashear scored 3 runs to cut the lead to 1, but the trying run was gunned down trying to score, allowing La Plata to escape with the 5-4 win.
Thanks for watching.
Join us next week on BHS News.
Tuesday morning, the 2009 senior class ventured into 1000 Hills State Park to take their class portrait. They did not only leave with a stunning class portrait and muddy shoes, but they also left with a handful of memories.
Wednesday night, the Busy Bees held a messy night in the elementary gym. Many activities such as finger painting, Play-Doh, and making trail mix were set out for the Busy Bees participants. High school NHS students volunteered their time to help with the project. The activity was well attended and generally raised excitement for the Busy Bees program.
Last week, Mike Allen of the National Wild Turkey Federation came to first grade to talk to kids about turkeys, hunting, and wildlife conservation.
Last Thursday, Brashear headed to Atlanta for a pair of JV games. The softball game was all Brashear, with the Tigers jumping out to a 1-0 lead after 1 inning and a 5-0 lead after 2 frames on their way to a 12-0 win. Atlanta made some noise in the second as they loaded the bases but failed to score. For Brashear, Shandy March had 3 hits, Kristen Love and Chloe Sykes had 2 hits each, and Emily Lodwig, Caitlin Guffey, Sydney Slavin, and Stephanie Linhart also had hits. Lodwig went the distance on the mound, striking out 6. The JV baseball game was a seesaw battle. Brashear scored a run in the top of the first, stranding 3 runners, but Atlanta answered with 4 runs in the bottom of the first. The Tiger bats came alive in the second, pushing 6 runs across to take a 7-4 lead. Atlanta closed the gap to 7-6 in the bottom of the frame and pulled ahead 8-7 after 3 innings. Brashear answered with another 4 runs to take the lead for good, winning 14-9. Hayden Coyne had 2 hits, including a home run. Jay Scudder had a single and a double, missing a home run by inches, and Dylan Redding also had 2 hits. Daniel Smith doubled. Mike McKim also had a hit. Hayden Coyne got the start for Brashear, with Nick Thomas getting the win in relief. Green City came to town Friday night. In the softball game, the Gophers got on the board first, pushing a run across in the top of the 3rd inning. For a while, it looked like that might be a game winner until the Lady Tigers exploded for 6 runs in the bottom of the 5th to pick up a 6-1 win. Abby McKim had a triple and a single for Brashear. Sierra Hines, Katie Watson, Emily Lodwig, and Kristen Love also had hits for the Lady Tigers. Kristen Love went the distance on the mound for Brashear. In the baseball game, both teams scored a run in the first, but Brashear took a 6-1 lead in the second with 5 more runs. The Tigers extended the lead to 8-1 before Green City scored 3 in the 4th and 2 in the 5th. Brashear answered with a run in the bottom of the 4th and 4 more in the 5th on their way to a 16-6 victory. Kylie Watson and Matt Thomas had 2 hits each for Brashear, with Watson driving in 4 runs on the night. Hayden Coyne homered, and Justin Hazen, Ryan Fertig, and Adam Songer also had hits. Cody Snelling picked up the win, going the distance for Brashear. The softball game with Marion County Monday night was a wild one. Marion County jumped out to a 6-1 lead after 2 innings, but Brashear scored 3 in the third to close the gap to 6-4. The Lady Mustangs scored another run in the fourth and 4 in the fifth to push their lead to 11-4 before a 7-run fifth where Brashear tied the game at 11-all. Marion County scored another pair of runs in the top of the seventh to go up 13-11, but Brashear battled back, scoring 3 in the bottom of the inning to get the win 14-13. Katie Watson and Abby McKim each had a double and a single for Brashear, and Stephanie Elsie and Tabby Killen also had hits. Kristen Love got the start for Brashear, with Macy Rogers pitching in relief. On Tuesday, Brashear visited Buckland for a varsity JV softball doubleheader. Both teams got off to slow starts in the varsity game. The first 2 innings went by without a score. Brashear got on the board with a run in the bottom of the third as Abby McKim doubled and Macy Rogers drove her in. Brashear also produced runs in the fifth as Sierra Hines singled and was driven in by an Abby McKim single. McKim was then brought home when Katie Watson reached on an error. For Brashear, Stephanie Elsie, Shelby Rogers, Kristen Love, and Katie Watson also had hits. Love held Buckland scoreless for the complete game 3-0 win. Brashear also got a win in the JV contest by a score of 11-9.
Hi, today is October 3rd, 2008. I'm Jordan Berry.
And I'm Trevor Bunch. Welcome to BHS News.
Every year in the spring, students work diligently on the state-required MAP test. Monday afternoon, their hard work was rewarded with recognition at a school-wide assembly. Students scoring proficient or advanced on the test received discounts to the Downtown Cinema 8 in Kirksville.
On Monday afternoon, Davina McKim came to Brashear Schools to promote the annual Sullivan County Memorial Hospital Health Fair. Davina described many career opportunities in the field of healthcare that will be presented at the fair. The fair will be held on October 28th at the hospital during 1st through 3rd hours.
Bevier came to Brashear Friday night to split a baseball-softball doubleheader. In the softball game, a triple and a legal pitch call put Bevier up 1-0 in the second inning. Neither team could generate much offense, but Bevier managed another run in the fourth and one in the sixth to pick up the win 3-0. Abby McKim and Macy Rogers had hits for the Lady Tigers' losing effort. Rogers took the loss, striking out 10. In the baseball game, Brashear third baseman Kylie Watson got the Tigers out in the front in the first inning with a home run and hit another homer in the 5-run second inning. Bevier finally got on the scoreboard with a run in the third, but after pulling within 7-3 in the top of the fifth, Brashear exploded for 5 runs in the bottom of the frame on their way to 14-4 victory. For Brashear, Kylie Watson went 3 for 3 with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. Justin Hazen, Matt Thomas, and Cody Snelling each had 2 hits, and Cody Hayden, Ryan Ferdig, Hayden Coyne, Adam Stonger, and Dylan Redding also had hits. Matt Thomas picked up the win, striking out 12.
On Saturday, the Lady Tigers softball team earned second place in the Schuyler County tournament. The Tigers started the day with an 11-3 victory over La Plata. Brashear got a 2-1 lead in the first inning, but La Plata came back in the third to tie the score 2-2. Brashear pulled ahead in the fifth inning, scoring 8 more runs. La Plata earned 1 more run in the sixth, but couldn't catch up. In the second game, the Lady Tigers took on Schuyler County. It was a tight game all the way through, with a tied score of 1-1 in the fourth inning. Schuyler went ahead in the sixth to make the score 2-1, but Brashear answered with 3 more runs. The Lady Tigers held the lead in the top of the seventh and won 4-2. The Tigers took on Knox County in the championship game. In the bottom of the first inning, the score was tied 1-1 after Sierra Hines got home for Brashear. In the third, Knox answered with 3 more runs, but Brashear couldn't generate any offense. Knox pulled away with the win with a final score of 8-1. On Wednesday, the Tiger baseball team traveled to La Plata for a varsity-junior varsity doubleheader. The Tigers jumped out to an early lead, scoring 4 in both the first and second innings. They held the lead until the 6th when La Plata had a scoring outburst, putting them ahead. The Tigers couldn't come back, and La Plata took the win with a final score of 9-8. Mike McKim took the loss, with Matt Thomas coming in relief. In the JV game, the Tigers took the loss 11-1.
Thanks for watching. Join us next week.
Hi, today is October 9th, 2008. I'm Stephanie Elsie.
I'm Hunter Higgins. Welcome to BHS News.
The Brashear Marching Tigers had their first parade of the year on Saturday at the Truman State University Homecoming Parade. The 17-piece band has 3 more parades on the schedule for this fall. Their next performance is at the Hannibal Parade and the Band Day next Tuesday.
Last Thursday, the Tigers traveled to Novinger for a baseball matchup. The Tigers scored once in the first to start the offense rolling. Runs in the third and fourth innings put the Tigers up 5-0. 5 walks and several wild pitches combined with 2 hits by Nick Thomas provided 6 runs for Brashear in the 6th to allow the Tigers to get the win 11-0. Cody Snelling pitched 6 shutout innings, striking out 11. Nick Thomas had 3 singles for the Tigers, and Cody Snelling also chipped in with a hit.
The Tigers traveled to Macon County on Friday night to take on the Raiders in a softball-baseball matchup. The baseball game was close through the first, with both teams going 1-2-3. In the second inning, walks, errors, and a home run gave Brashear the lead 3-0. The Tigers added 4 runs in the third, 2 each in the fourth and fifth innings, and 9 in the fifth. Macon County came up with 2 runs off of reliever Nick Thomas in the fifth, but couldn't produce any more offense. The Tigers took the win 18-2. For the Tiger offense, both Cody Snelling and Hayden Coyne homered, and 5 other Tigers had hits. Matt Thomas got the win with 1 hit allowed and 6 strikeouts. In the softball contest, Brashear jumped on top with 10 in the first inning and put in 6 more runs in the next 2 innings to cruise to a 16-0 victory. Emily Lodwig led the Tigers with a home run and a triple, and Sierra Hines, Macy Rogers, Kristen Love, Caitlin Guffey, and Chloe Sykes also had hits for the Lady Tigers. Macy Rogers got the win, striking out 8 out of 12 Macon County batters.
Thursday night, the Lady Tigers headed to Green City for a varsity JV doubleheader. In the first game, the Tigers got off to a slow start, but scored 3 runs in the third to go up to 5-1 over Green City. In the fourth, the Tiger offense exploded for another 11 runs to get the 16-1 win via the 15-run rule. Kristen Love got the win, allowing only 1 hit in 4 innings. In the JV contest, the Tigers' Kristen Love scored their only run in the first inning, while Green City got 11 runs in the second and 5 in the fourth to take a 16-1 win. Emily Lodwig took the loss on the mound for the Tigers.
Thanks for watching. Join us next week.
Hi, today is October 17th, 2008. I'm Jay Scudder.
And I'm Abigail Wheeler. Welcome to BHS News.
The Brashear Marching Tigers had their second parade of the year on Tuesday at the Hannibal Parade and Band Day. They marched along with 31 other bands in the parade in the afternoon, then attended the field show in the evening. Their next performance is at the MU Homecoming Parade.
On Wednesday, Mrs. Jill Lane came from the University of Missouri Extension Office. She visits each elementary class once a week for 10 weeks and teaches about healthy and good nutrition.
Brashear faced Marion County last Wednesday in the district tourney at La Plata. Marion got the jump on Brashear with the run in the first, but Brashear fired right back in the third with 5 runs. Going into the fifth, Brashear held a 5-2 lead. Marion was able to push across 4 runs, changing the score to Marion's favor, 6-5. Then Brashear answered back in the bottom with 11 runs, ending the game 16-6.
The district semifinals between Brashear and Canton was a great defensive battle with neither team able to score a run in the first 7 innings. Both teams were hitting the ball and had base runners, but couldn't manage to bring them home. It looked like Brashear might break things open in the third, with Kristen Love led off the inning with a double and Sierra Hines followed with a single. That moved Love to third with no outs. Stephanie Owsley then hit a fly ball down the right field line, too deep for the first baseman and too shallow for the right fielder. Kenton's second baseman managed to sprint to the ball and make the catch, but the Brashear base runners weren't tagged up and were able to score the run. Kenton finally pushed the winning across in the 8th when the leadoff bunt, a sacrifice bunt, and a wild pitch brought the runner to third. Another bunt brought the winning run, ended Brashear's season. Stephanie Elsie and Kristen Love both doubled for Brashear, and Sierra Hines also having a hit. Macy Rogers took the loss, striking out 11. The Lady Tigers finished their season with a 14-5 record overall and took second in the Tri-Conference with a 7-1 mark.
Thanks for watching.
Join us next week.
Hi, today is October 23rd, 2008. I'm Carmen.
I'm Jake. Welcome to BHS News.
On Monday, students from Brashear, La Plata, Novinger, Green City, Bevier, Macon County, Buckland, Lynn County, and Atlanta participated in the annual Tri-County Conference Choir. Students attending from Brashear include Katie Stewart, Stephanie Linhart, Amanda Horton, Nicole Wagster, Lily Tonkinson, and Tiffany Rigdon. Every year, the Tri-County Choir goes on a 3-school tour. This year, the tour was at La Plata, Novinger, and Green City. On Friday, dental professionals from the Northeast Missouri Dental Clinic came to our school for the Healthy Smiles program. The elementary students got their teeth painted with fluoride varnish, which is used to prevent or stop early tooth decay. Healthy Smiles is a state-based program that will be done twice a year. Tuesday night, the FBLA put on their annual fall meeting. About 70 students ranging from grades 7th through 12th attended the meeting, where they played a part in a dinner theater and ate a meal. Every student had a specific part in the event. Most students participated and dressed their part. Awards were handed out for best dressed and most dramatic.
On October 16th, Tigers kicked off their season with a pair of losses to La Plata. The Brashear Lady Tigers junior high basketball got off to a slow start, allowing La Plata to run up a 14-0 lead after the first quarter of play. Brashear bounced back in the second quarter, scoring 6, while holding La Plata to 4 points. La Plata picked up the win, 28-14. For Brashear, Katie Smith had 8 points, Shelby Salter scored 4, Meredith Thompson added 2 points. The Tiger squad also got off to a slow start with only 2 points in the first quarter. Although they scored 7 in the second and 7 in the third, La Plata had already put the game away with a 17-point first quarter and a 39-9 halftime lead. La Plata had the win with a final score of 59-16. For Brashear, Joseph Woods scored 6, Joe Clarkson had 4, and Hayden Hausman, Nick Thomas, and Taryn Treasure had 2 points each.
The Lady Tigers jumped out to a 10-2 first quarter lead over Novinger Friday night. Brashear extended their lead to 19-4 at halftime and held off a third quarter surge by Novinger to take the third place tournament trophy by a score of 28-15. Meredith Thomas had 10 points for Brashear, Shelby Salter added 8, Katie Smith had 4, and Nikki Moncrief, Shandy March, and Kayla Snelling scored 2 points each. In the boys' third place game, Brashear took a slim 6-5 lead after the first quarter, then held Novinger scoreless while they went on to score 2 in the second, 7 in the third, and 5 in the fourth quarter to claim the 20-5 win. For Brashear, Nick Thomas and Joseph Woods scored 6 points each, Joe Clarkson had 4, and Hayden Hausman and Taryn Treasure scored 2 points each. The Brashear and Atlanta junior high basketball teams came away with a split Monday night. In the girls' game, Brashear went up 8-3 after the first quarter and led 14-5 at halftime. The Lady Tigers continued to extend their lead to 24-9 after 3 frames, then held off a fourth quarter. Atlanta rallied to get the win by a score of 28-18. Brashear's scoring was led by Katie Smith with 10, Shelby Salter added 8, Kristen Love and Shandy March had 4 each, and Meredith Thomas scored 2 points. Atlanta came out strong in the boys' game, leaving Brashear down 11-2 in the first and 18-8 at halftime. The Tigers started the fourth quarter down 24-10, but weren't quite ready to give up yet. Brashear scored 18 fourth quarter points to pull within a single point late in the game before Atlanta managed a couple of quick buckets to put the game away 35-28. For Brashear, Joseph Woods scored 14. Taryn Treasure had 8, including a 4-and-4 performance from the free throw line. Hayden Hausman chipped in 4, and Joe Clarkson scored 2 points.
Thanks for watching.
Join us next week.
Hi, today is October 31st, 2008. I'm Jay Scudder.
And I'm Stephanie Elsey. Welcome to BHS News.
Monday, FBLA members went to Ottumwa to tour the Indian Hills Community College campus. Students saw many parts of the campus, including the Aviation Center and the Health Building.
On Tuesday, several students attended the Sullivan County Memorial Hospital Health Fair. Participants went to various presentations by health professionals and colleges.
Last Saturday, the Brashear Band traveled to Columbia to participate in their final parade. The Marching Tigers took first place in their Class 1A division. This week, our students have been doing a variety of activities to promote drug awareness. These activities include dressing as your favorite career, a superhero, or a famous athlete.
On Monday, the Busy Bees preschoolers got a chance to dress up for their annual Halloween parade.
Last Friday, Brashear traveled to Green City. The Brashear Lady Tigers A squad held a slim 5-4 lead in the first quarter, but lost the lead, ended the first half trailing Green City 14-11. The Lady Tigers stayed close in the second half, trailing 21-15 after 3 quarters, but couldn't catch Green City, who won by the score 28-22. For Brashear, Meredith Thompson and Shandy March scored 5 points each. Katie Smith and Kayla Snelling added 4 points each. Nikki Moncrief 2, and Miranda Creaston and Shelby Salter 1 point each. In the girls' B game, they won 14-7.
In the boys' A game, the Gophers led Brashear 12-7 after the first quarter and 21-15 at halftime. Tiger scoring during the second half slowed, allowing Green City to build a 31-17 lead after 3 quarters on their way to a 46-23 win. Nick Thomas and Joseph Woods led Tiger scoring with 6 points each. Joe Clarkson had 4, Hayden Houseman had 3, and Andy Belzer and Taryn Treasure scored 2 points each. In the B games, the Brashear boys lost 18-2.
On Monday, Mary Immaculate came to Brashear. Brashear led 5-4 in the first quarter, but outscored the Hawks 11-7 to extend their lead to 16-11 in the halftime. After 3 quarters, Brashear led 22-15, but the Lady Tigers exploded for 14 fourth quarter points to seal the 36-18 win. Meredith Thompson had 14 points, Shelby Salter scored 10, Miranda Creason added 4, Nikki Moncrief and Olivia Thompson, Alexa Axton, and Kayla Snelling scored 2 points each. In the boys' games, the Hawks jumped out to a 9-4 lead after the first quarter. Brashear tied the game late in the second quarter, but a late three-pointer gave Mary Immaculate a 14-11 lead going into the locker room. Brashear came out shooting in the third, scoring 12 points to take a 23-20 lead. Brashear then held the Hawks scoreless in the fourth, on their way to a 27-20 victory. Hayden Houseman led Brashear with 23 points, and Nick Bradshaw and Austin Alexander scored 2 points each. On Tuesday, Bevere came to Brashear. In the girls' A game, the score was tied 6-6 after the first, and Bevere led 13-10 at halftime. Brashear outscored the Wildcats 6-1 in the third to take a 16-14 lead, then held on for the 22-20 lead. Katie Smith made 7 points, Shelby Salter added 6, Meredith Thomas had 5, and Kayla Snelling scored 4 points. The Lady B squad got 6 points from Alexa Acton, 4 from Kayla Snelling, and 3 points from Nikki Moncrief, on their way to a 13-3 win. For the boys' A game, Brashear led 11-9 after the first and 21-20 at halftime. The score was tied 28-28 after 3 quarters, and Brashear took a 7-point lead in the fourth, before Bevere scored 9 points with under a minute left to pull out the win, score 46-41. For Brashear, Joe Clarkson scored 15, Taryn Treasure had 10, Nick Thomas added 9, Joseph Woods had 4, and Andy Belzer scored 3 points. For the boys' B game, Tristan Smith and Andy Belzer had 2 points each, in the loss 8-4.
I'm Jay Scudder.
And I'm Stephanie Elsie. Thanks for watching. Watch out, Jay!
Oh. Happy Halloween.
Hi, today is November 7th, 2008. I'm Jordan Berry.
And I'm Carmen White. Welcome to VHS News.
Congratulations to Stephanie Linhart, who was selected for the district choir last Saturday.
On Saturday, November 1st, a group of 50 future teachers from Truman State University came to our school to make an extreme makeover. If you haven't noticed the changes they've made, they have completed the following projects. They painted the shed in the school bus parking lot, the storage building, the metal awnings in front of the school, the outside of the gym by the elementary parking lot, the handrails of the school entrance, and the front and backs of bleachers in the high school gym. They also worked on our playground, put recipes in the cafeteria's computer, and helped catalog books in the library, and dusted the shelves. They were all volunteers and received donations from Home Depot.
The evening started with a 2-quarter girls' B game. Brashear girls got a 16-2 win. In the girls' A game, Brashear led 5-2 after first quarter, 11-5 at half, and 15-9 after 3 quarters, on their way to a 24-19 win. Meredith Thomas had led Brashear with 10 points, Shelby Salter had 9, Kayla Snelling had 3, and Katie Smith scored 2 points. The boys' game was a seesaw battle with Brashear leading 9-6 after first quarter, but Buckland had taken a 15-14 lead at halftime. Buckland still led 23-22 after 3 quarters, but Brashear outscored Buckland 4-0 in the final frame to win 26-23. For Brashear, Joe Clarkson had 12 points, Hayden Housen had 7, Taryn Treasure had 5, and Nick Thomas scored. The girls' game got off to a slow start with aggressive defenses by both teams. Brashear finally got points on the scoreboard with under a minute left in the first and held a 4-1 lead going into the second quarter. The Lady Tigers only managed a single point in the second while Macon County put up 9 to take a halftime lead of 10-5. Brashear managed 8 points in the second half but couldn't overcome the Lady Raider lead and took a 19-13 loss. Shelby Salter led Brashear, scoring with 7. Meredith Thomas and Kristen Lowe scored 3 points each. The Brashear boys also got on the scoreboard first in their game. The Tigers put up 17 points in the second period to take a 24-7 halftime lead. Brashear kept the lead to a 37-18 win. Nick Thomas had 12 points for Brashear, Hayden Hausman and Joseph Woods added 6 each. Joe Clarkson had 5 and Andy Belzer added 4, and Taryn Treasure and Jeremy Barnes scored 2 points each.
The Lady Tigers A team started off with a big first quarter, taking an 8-2 lead into the second frame and building a 13-6 lead at halftime. The tough defense took its toll on scoring in the second half, with Brashear outscoring Novinger 7-6 for a 20-12 win. For Brashear, Meredith Thomas had 9 points, Shelby Salter had 5, Kristen Love added 4, and Katie Smith scored 2 points. In the girls' B game, Novinger came out on top 10. The Brashear boys also got off to a quick start, taking a 13-8 lead after the first quarter and a 20-14 lead at halftime. Novinger outscored Brashear 10-6 in the third quarter to trim Brashear's lead 26-24. Brashear kept the game either tied or within a bucket, but could never regain the lead and lost 35-33. Joe Clarkson scored 14 points for the Tigers, Taryn Treasure had 8, Joseph Woods added 6, Nick Thomas had 3, and Andy Belzer scored 2 points. Wildcats also took the boys' B game 19-3.
Thanks for watching.
Join us next week. Bye!
Hi, today is November 14th, 2008. I'm Trevor Bunch.
And I'm Abigail Wheeler. Welcome to BHS News.
On Tuesday, our school observed Veterans Day by holding a school-wide assembly. Mr. McHenry led the student body in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Wednesday, Brashear NHS members hosted the annual blood drive. 28 donors showed up to the event, 4 of which were first-time givers. The drive was very productive and 26 usable units were collected, exceeding the goal of 25. All units of blood collected go to the Red Cross Blood Donation Center in Columbia to be distributed to hospitals statewide. Wednesday, the Truman State University branch of the American Chemical Society came to Brashear Elementary. Kids in Mrs. Whitlow's 4th grade class learned about acids and bases with several experiments, including tests involving vinegar and soda pop. The society is scheduled to return next week for a demonstration for the 3rd grade.
The Tigers dropped a pair of junior high basketball games on the road Thursday night. In the girls' game, both teams struggled to score in the first half, with Lynn County leading 7-2 after one quarter, but Brashear holding a 12-9 edge at halftime. The third quarter came and went without a single point scored by either team. but the Lady Mustangs got on track during the fourth quarter, outscoring Brashear 10-1 to claim a 19-13 victory. Shelby Salter scored 7 points for Brashear, and Meredith Thomas, Katie Smith, and Kristen Love scored 2 points each. The boys' contest was close the whole way, with the score tied 4-4 after the first quarter, and with Brashear holding a slim lead 12-11 lead at the half. The third quarter ended up scored tied again at 22-all. During the fourth quarter, Brashear managed to build a lead, but late in the quarter, Lynn County mounted a rally that tied the game 33-33 at the end of the regulation. Lynn County managed to steal the ball and get a quick score in overtime, and despite several good shots and a couple of free throw attempts, the scoring was over, with Lynn County winning 35-33. For Brashear, Joe Clarkson had 12 points, Nick Thomas had 6, Hayden Hausman scored 5, Karen Treasure and Andy Belzer scored 4 points each, and Joseph Woods scored 2 points. On Wednesday, Brashear traveled to Atlanta tournament to play some first-round games. The Brashear Lady Tigers and Bevere Wildcats proved to be a well-matched pair of opponents. The score was tied 2-all after the first quarter, and Brashear led a slim 7-6 margin at the half. The Lady Tigers managed to go ahead 10-7 after 3 quarters, but Bevere came back to tie the game 12-all at the end of the regulation play. The first overtime produced no score, leaving the game still tied at 12-all, and each team scored 2 points in the second overtime to leave the score knotted 14-all. Brashear finally prevailed in the third overtime, winning 18-17. Katie Smith scored 8 points for Brashear, Shelby Salter added 5, Kristen Love had 3, and Meredith Thomas had 2 points. The boys' contest between Brashear and Bevere was also a close contest, with Bevere leading 11-10 after one quarter and 21-20 at the half. Bevere continued to hold a 1-point lead, 29-28, after 3 quarters, but Brashear tied the game in the fourth until Bevere swiped an inbound pass to score a layup, with 7 seconds left to grab the 38-36 win over Brashear. For Brashear, Taryn Treasure scored 11 points, Joe Clarkson had 8, Joseph Woods added 7, Nick Thomas had 6, and Hayden Hausman scored.
The Brashear Lady Tigers and Macon County Raiders squared off in the championship semifinal on the game Wednesday night. Tough defense was the order of the day, and it showed in the low-scoring totals. Macon County held a 5-2 lead after the first quarter, which they extended to 11-4 at halftime. In the second half, Brashear continued to struggle against the press and fell behind 15-6 after 3 quarters, with Macon County getting the win by a final score 19-8. Both teams struggled from the free throw line, with Brashear going 0-11 from the charity stripe and Macon County striking only 1-11. Meredith Thomas had 6 points for Brashear and Shelby Salter adding 2. Brashear boys hope to turn things around against Buckland after dropping a 2-point game on Monday night. The Tigers came out strong, taking a 13-2 lead over Buckland after the first quarter and building a 23-4 lead at halftime. Both teams substituted freely throughout the game as Brashear finished the third quarter with a 32-13 lead, on their way to the 39-23 win. For Brashear, Joe Clarkson and Joseph Woods scored 10 points each. Hayden Hausman had 8, Taryn Treasure had 4, Nick Thomas had 3, and Sam Smith and Andy Belzer scored 2 points each.
Thanks for watching.
Join us next week.
Hello, today is November 21st, and I'm Jacob Sweet.
I'm Hunter Higgins. Welcome to BHS News.
No, they didn't get to visit the United Nations, but Brashear's Spanish 2 and Spanish 3 classes did get to attend the Foreign Language Day at Truman State University, where they learned more about foreign countries and their cultures.
This week, the elementary celebrated Reading Week by decorating their halls and doing various activities such as reading the Gettysburg Address, singing a song that names the capitals of the states, and having a book fair. On Friday, they had an Abraham Lincoln impersonator come and talk to them. He also made an appearance that night for the students and parents attending a picnic for Reading Week.
Friday night, Brashear faced Green City in the girls' third place game of the Atlanta tournament. Tough defense held scoring down for both teams, with Brashear leading 3-0 after the first quarter of play. Brashear put up another 9 points in the second quarter to take a 12-0 lead into halftime. The Lady Tigers would extend that lead to 18-0 before Green City got on the board with a pair of free throws in the third period. Brashear led 22-2 after the third quarter and coasted to a 28-8 win. Kristen Love scored 7 for Brashear. Shelby Salter had 6, Meredith Thomas had 5, Katie Smith scored 4, Ashley Moncrief and Miranda Creason had 2 points each, and Shandy March and Kayla Snelling each scored 1 point. In the boys' consolation game, Brashear matched up with Novinger. Brashear jumped out to a 10-6 lead after the first quarter, but Novinger came back to tie the game 18-all at halftime. Brashear pulled ahead again to lead 31-26 after 3 quarters, and extended the lead to pick up the win 45-33. Taryn Treasure scored 16 points for Brashear, Nick Thomas added 11, Hayden Hasman had 7, Joe Clarkson had 6, and Joseph Wood scored 5 points.
On Tuesday, the Tigers took on Mary Immaculate to split a pair of 7th, 8th grade basketball games. The Lady Tigers and the Lady Hawks fought a seesaw battle throughout the first half, with the score tied 6-6 after 1 quarter, and with Brashear holding a slim 14-12 lead at halftime. The Lady Tigers finally got some breathing room with a 23-16 lead after 3 quarters, on their way to a 33-22 win. Shelby Salter led all scorers with 14 points for Brashear. Miranda Creason had 7, Meredith Thomas added 6, Nikki Moncrief had 4, and Olivia Thompson scored 2 points. In the boys' game, a 6-0 first quarter run by Mary Immaculate put the Tigers down 10-3 after the first quarter, but Brashear pulled within 1 point late in the second quarter and trailed only 12-9 at halftime. Mary Immaculate went on an 8-0 run in the third quarter to jump out to a 20-13 lead, but once again the Tigers battled back, closing to within 1 point at 22-21 with under a minute left. Brashear could close the gap no further, and Mary Immaculate hung on for a 25-21 win. Hayden Hausman led all scorers with 13 points, and Austin Alexander, Sam Smith, Tristan Smith, and Jeremy Barnes scored 2 points each.
Thanks for watching.
Join us next week.
Hi, today is December 5th, 2008. I'm Stephanie Elsey.
And I'm Abby Wheeler. Welcome to BHS News.
To encourage reading at a young age, the PTS committee held their annual book giveaway. During this event, students K through 6 are given an opportunity to pick a book of their choice that the committee purchases for the students' private use.
As the winter season approaches, we are reminding parents and students to listen to the local media stations to check on early dismissals and/or no school bulletins. This information will be given to KTVO Television, KHQA Television, WGEM Television, KIRX Radio, KTUF Radio, KRXL Radio, Crest Radio of Moberly, KMEM Radio of Memphis, and KZVK Radio of Brookfield. These stations will present dismissal information as soon as decisions have been made. Please do not call the school.
Last Friday was the boys and girls basketball teams Meet the Tigers night. This gave the Tigers a chance to meet the public and show off their mad skills in an inter-squad scrimmage. Admission to the event was a bottle of water or Gatorade.
The Lady Tigers started off the season facing Novinger Wildcats in the Novinger tournament Monday night. Brashear had an early start, outscoring Novinger 12-5 in the first quarter. Brashear held their lead throughout the game. Novinger was tailing behind in the fourth quarter but couldn't take the lead, with the final score of 38-31. Brashear. For the Tigers, Macy Rogers scored 14, Emily Lodwig scored 12, Shelby Rogers had 6, Stephanie Elsey scored 5, and Sydney Slavin added 1 point.
The Brashear boys also traveled to Novinger to start off their season facing Green City. Brashear easily outscored Green City in the first half, scoring 26 points in each of the first 2 quarters. Brashear held the lead, outscoring Green City with a final score of 69-43. For the Tigers, Justin Hazen scored 14 points. Anthony Ambrosier added 13. Kylie Watson had 11. Matt Thomas scored 9. Jacob Owen had 6. Troy Treasure with 5. Jay Scudder had 4. Cody Snelling had 3. Dylan Redding and Adam Sonner scored 2 points each.
Wednesday night, our Brashear Lady Tigers ran into Bevere Lady Wildcats in the championship semifinals. The Wildcats were ahead after the first quarter with 11-7 lead. Bevere didn't give an inch, still leading at halftime 20-17, but Brashear seemed to come out of their days and outscored Bevere in the third 15-11, and leading after the third quarter buzzer 32-31. But Bevere still got the win, ending the game 46-38. Macy Rogers put in 17 points, while Shelby Rogers added 8. Stephanie Elsey and Emily Lodwig both had 5 points each, and Caroline Slavin scored 3 points.
In the Novinger tournament on Wednesday, Brashear jumped out to an early lead and was up 14-7 after 1 quarter, and the Tigers led 30-20 at half. Milan made some defensive adjustments in the third and held Brashear to 4 points in the third quarter while scoring 13 to close the gap to 34-33. Milan tied the game 10 seconds to the final quarter and took the lead on the next possession. Brashear finally battled back to regain the lead with 3 minutes 30 seconds left to play. The Tigers slowed the game down, forcing Milan to foul. Brashear sank 17 out of 20 free throws in the fourth quarter to pull out the win 55-46. Trey Treasure led the Tigers with 17 points. Justin Hazen and Kylie Watson scored 11 points each. Anthony Ambrosia had 8. Matt Thomas had 4. Brian Ferdig added 3. And Cody Snelling scored 1 point.
Thanks for watching.
Join us next week.
Hi, today is December 12th, 2008. I'm Carmen Woods.
And I'm Jordan Berry. Welcome to BHS News.
Winter has arrived, and along with Christmas, winter's also brought plenty of ice and snow. The bad weather conditions last Tuesday caused an early dismissal of the student body, as well as the postponement of our basketball game versus Lynn County. The game has now been rescheduled for February 25th. For future early outs or cancellations, listen to your local radio or TV stations.
On Wednesday, Tri-County Electric and Northeast Power came to Brashear to give a power safety demonstration to the 4th, 5th, and 6th grade classes. The companies teamed up to teach students how to be safe around electricity.
On Saturday, the Brashear Lady Tigers took a win against Green City in the third place game. Brashear opened the game with an 11-0 run and led 15-5 at the end of the first quarter. The Lady Tigers continued to outscore the Lady Gophers every quarter as they led 21-9 at halftime and 29-14 after 3 quarters on their way to a 41-21 win. Shelby Rogers paced Brashear with 17 points. Caroline Slavin had 8. Emily Ladwig scored 7. Macy Rogers added 6. Abby McKim had 4. And Sydney Slavin scored 2 points.
On Saturday, the Brashear Tigers and La Plata Bulldogs squared off in the boys' championship game of the Novinger tournament. Brashear jumped on the board first, but La Plata managed to take the lead midway through the first quarter before the Tigers fought back to reclaim that lead 10-9 after 1 quarter of play. Brashear managed to pull out to a 5-point lead at one point in the second quarter, but La Plata held a 19-18 edge at halftime. Brashear pulled ahead again in the third quarter and led 33-28 going into the final frame, where the Tigers outscored La Plata 20-11 to claim a 53-39 win. Trey Treasure scored 18 points for the Tigers, Kylie Watson had 14, Justin Hazen added 10, Anthony Ambrosia scored 4, Matt Thomas and Ryan Fertig had 2 points each, and Cody Snelling scored 1 point.
Thank you for watching.
Join us next week.
Hi, today is December 19th, 2008. I'm Stephanie Elsie.
And I'm Abigail Wheeler. Welcome to BHS News.
On Thursday, December 11th, Brashear Music Department held its annual Christmas concert. Elementary classes sang Christmas tunes and several band arrangements performed. The art department also had student artwork on display.
Recently, several elementary teachers have been raising money to improve the school's playground. Last Friday, the teachers had Olin Mills Portrait Studio come to the elementary to take family portraits. The committee said that the event was successful and raised a large amount of money to go towards the improvements.
On Tuesday, the elementary kids enjoyed a rare treat. The Lady Tigers varsity basketball team visited the elementary and read various stories to the kids. This activity was to get the kids excited about reading different books. This encourages the kids to read when they see the high school as role models reading them the books.
Last Monday, NHS started off the week by volunteering to ring bells at Walmart for the Kettle campaign.
Thanks for watching.
Join us next time.
Merry Christmas.
Jingle